Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of Act 1, Scene 3 of the play Merchant of Venice. We'll do a quick recap of the scene. I have given you a link below which you can paste on the browser and you can watch the scene being performed on stage. It will be a different experience from the usual summary that I give you. So enjoy watching the play. By the end of the scene, we will be able to list down the reasons why Shylock is angry with Antonio, explain Antonio's attitude towards Shylock, and describe the details of the bond signed between Antonio and Shylock. So before we begin the session, just to give you a background of the animosity between Antonio and Shylock, we have to go back to history where and I think even today also history is being repeated where Jews are being hated by Christians, or there is hatred between Christians and Jews. And here are some of the common reasons for the hatred of Jews that we can see. Jews were considered responsible for the death of Jesus Christ. Now, Jesus was himself a Jew, and his friend Judas had actually informed the authorities about Jesus's whereabouts, and that's how they could capture him and take him, arrest him, and crucify him, and finally, which led to the death of Jesus Christ. So that's why Christians hate Jews. Another reason is they were seen as greedy money lenders. They were it was even said that the Black Death, the epidemic, all this was caused by the Jews, which is actually not true. They were supposed to be drinking children's blood, which is ideally not true. Prophet Muhammad was supposed to have been denied his prophethood because of the Jews, and Jews were even blamed for the assassination of the Russian Tsar. Now the Nazi ideology of pure supremacist race, Aryan race, also stemmed from the fact that they hated Jews. Okay, and finally the last reason, or one of the reasons for Jews being hated, is the creation of the state of Israel in the Palestinian land. That is they had occupied Palestinian land because they said that it was their promised land, and since they did not have a land of their own like all the other religions, so they created a land of their own in the Palestinian section. And right now, if you look at Israel, it's landlocked with all its enemies, landlocked by all its enemies. So that's the reason. So that's why I have given you a small idea of why Antonio and Shylock hate each other, and what are some of the reasons why they hate each other, so that you'll get an idea of why Antonio is angry with Shylock and how he treats Shylock and all that. But that's not an excuse. Do you think such kind of animosity still exists? Not only between Christians and Jews, between black and whites, between Muslims and Hindus, between Dalits, and there are so many incidents where hatred between communities are highlighted, and that we will discuss on our online session more in detail. Well, Shylock, shall we be holding to you? Are you going to give it to us? Are we going to be obliged to you? Signor Antonio, many a time and often the Rialto, you have rated me about my monies and my usences. Still have I borne it with a patient shrug, for sufferance is the badge of a tribe. You call me a misbeliever, a cutthroat dog, and spit upon my Jewish gabardine, and all for use of that which is mine own. Well then, now it appears you need my help. Go to then. You come to me and say, Shylock, we could have money, you say so? You that did void your room upon my beard, and foot me as you spurn a stranger cur. Over your threshold, money is your suit. What should I say to you? Should I not say, hath a dog money? Is it possible? a cur can lend 3,000 ducats? Or shall I bend low in a bondsman's key, with bated breath and whispering humbleness, say this? So Shylock starts, all his, pent up anger and frustration comes out. He says, many a time, so many times in the Rialto, you have insulted me. You have scoffed at and scorned at my profit, at me charging interest. But I have not said anything. I have borne it. I have borne this. Without patiently. I have not done anything, because that is the suffering of my tribe. My entire Jewish community has been suffering. It's a history of suffering that we've been having. So we have learned to be patient. You call me a dog. You spat upon my dress Jewish gown, robes. And why? For what? All of which is my own. I have done nothing. I have not cheated anybody. It's my own money. Well, then it now appears, and it looks like now you need help. You insulted me, but now you're coming to me for help. Go to them. He says, you are coming here, Shylock. We could have money, and asking me, can you give me money? You, the person who spat on my face, upon my beard, you kicked me like a stray dog. You kicked me like a stray dog at your doorstep. And what should I say to you? Such a person who's insulted me in such a way. Now what you have to do is, you have to underline all these phrases that I've been calling out. Just you have to underline, you call me a misbeliever, underline that. Cutthroat dog, underline that. Spat upon my Jewish gabardine, underline that. And come further down. Void your room upon my beard, underline that. Foot me as you spurn a stranger, underline that. So these are the some of the points you need to write when you are asked the question, how was Shylock insulted by Antonio? Why was certain questions are framed in such a way that you need to give these kind of answers. So then Shylock is saying, what should I say to you? Should I not say, hath the dog money? Is it possible? You call me a dog. Does dog have money? Can a dog lend 3,000 ducats? Or do you want me to bend low like a servant and with bated breath and gentle proceed? So we go back to the same conversation that Shylock was asking. He's telling Antonio, do you want me to say, oh sir, you spat me last Wednesday, you insulted me the other day, and another time you called me a dog, and for all these good things, or for all these courtesies, or for all these things that you have done to me, in my gratitude I am lending you this money. So he's mocking Antonio. So Antonio says, I am as like to call thee so again. I'm still going to do all that to you. I'm going to spit on you, I'm going to insult you. If you lend the money or if you don't lend the money, I am going to do all that to you. So he says, okay, as to thy friends, for when did friendship take a metal of his friend, but lend it rather to thine enemy. So he says, if you want, you can lend it to me as my enemy. You don't consider me as a friend, because it's very difficult to between friends, it's very difficult to lend and borrow money, but you can lend me money thinking of me as an enemy. Why? Because it will be more convenient for you to exact the penalty, the forfeiture. So I think that will be better. And you can actually be more stern in exacting the penalty from me, he says. Why, look how you storm. Shylock says, look at the way you're getting angry. I would be friends with you and have your love, forget the shame that you have stained me, and supply you with wands and take no doit of usance for my monies, and you not hear me. This is the kind I offer. He says, look at the way you're getting angry. I'm ready to be friends with you, forget all the shames and insults you have given it to me, and give you the money and not take a doit. Doit means the smallest amount of money from you. I'm not going to charge it as interest. You'll not hear me. That's the offer I can make with 0% financing. That should be really kind, says Bassanio. This kindness will I show. Go with me to the notary. Okay, come on, let's go to the notary. Notary is the official place. Any legal document needs to be legalized. So they must be going to some kind of a man, official, who's in charge of legalizing the document. Okay, so that it's a legal document. That's the reason. Notary, seal me there, your single bond, and in a very sport, if you repay me not in such a day, in such a place, in such a sum, or sums as are expressed in the condition, let the forfeit be nominated for an equal pound. of your fair flesh to be cut off and taken in what part of your body pleaseth me. Okay, let's go to the notary. We'll sign the bond. I'll give you the money, but just for fun, just as a joke, I want to add a small clause there, and that clause is, if you don't repay me on such the particular date, on the particular time, on the particular condition, then I will take a pound of flesh from your body. I'll cut off a pound of flesh from your body, any part of your body which pleases me. That's the clause I want to add, and that's just content in faith. I'll seal such a bond and say there is much kindness in the Jew. Of course, I have no problem. I'll agree with that, and I'll say the Jew is kind. Bassanio is immediately agitated. You shall not seal to such a bond for me. I'd rather dwell in my necessity. You will not sign a bond for me, please. I'd rather go without money. He's upset because Antonio has to give a pound of flesh in case he is not able to pay the penalty. Why, fear not, man, I will not forfeit it within these 2 months. That's a month before this bond expires. I do expect return of 3 times the value of this bond. You don't have to worry. You have written 3 months, but in 2 months my money is going to come back. You don't have to worry. My ships are going to come back and I'm going to get triple the amount. Oh, Father Abraham, what these Christians are, whose own hard dealings teaches them to suspect the thought of others. Look at these. Oh my God, Father Abraham, that's the Holy Father. What are these? What kind of people these Christians are? They are very mean. They are very mean, they are so mean that they are very suspicious, and they are always suspicious about others. And then he goes on to say, pray you tell me this, if he could break this day, what should I gain by the exaction of the forfeit? I mean, what am I going to gain if he breaks this penalty? Just a pound of flesh taken from a man. It's not at all profitable. If I take a pound of flesh from the man, dead flesh, that too, what am I going to gain? It's not like flesh of mutton or beef or goat, which you can make profit. It's just dead flesh. I mean, I'm not going to gain any profit. I'm just offering this to you as a friend. If you want, you take it. I extend this friendship. If you will take it, so. If not, adieu. If not, I'm going to say goodbye. And for my love, I pray you wrong me not. I mean, don't take me wrong. He says, this is just, you don't have to read too much into the clause, he says. If you want, you take it. If you don't want, then I'm okay. Then meet me forthwith at the notaries, give him direction for this merry bond, and I will go and purse the ducats right. So he said, okay, then let's meet at the notaries. We'll finish up tying up all the loose ends. I'll go get the money from the Tubal, and in the meanwhile, I'll go check my house because I've left it with a careless servant, and then I'll join you, he says. Hi thee, gentle Jew. This Hebrew will turn Christian. He grows kind. So he says, my God, look at this man. He seems to be growing like a Christian. He's looking kind. I like not fair terms and a villain's mind. I'm not too happy with the way this his mind works. I don't like the clause that he's put in it. Come on, can be no dismay. My ships come home a month before the day. You don't have to worry. You don't have to, be anxious. My ships are going to come in 2 months. Why are you bothered? And then both of them exit. So this is the third plot that we came across. We came across the casket plot. Sorry, the second plot, casket plot, and now this is the bond plot. Okay, so this is the main, what can I say, the plot of all the plots are important, but this one is sort of the main plot where we find the protagonist and the antagonist, so-called antagonist here, and this paves the way for the next part of the story to follow. So hope you've got gist of what the scene is about, and if you have any doubts, I will clarify it when we meet for the online session. Thank you. So just to check your understanding of what we have done so far, I have given you a small pop quiz. Go through those questions, try to understand them, and in case you don't, you can of course get back to me when we are doing an online session. If you are not able to understand the meaning of stereotypical, check up the word in the dictionary and find out. It would be nice if you could get me some examples of the same, so that I know that you have understood the word, and the other questions too, you need to note them down in your perforated sheets, and you will get back to me regarding the answers when we meet online. That's it for today. Thank you.